My mom has stage 4 cancer in her bones and in her breast. My dad's disease was 15 years, he died of ALS. I made a podcast about death, seemed like the thing to do. And if you're sad by all of this, well, you're gonna die too.
Hello, happy week as much as possible. Wanted to share a few quotes about death that will bring you instant calm. And by that I mean that's what the title of this series of quotes is on wisdomquotes.com. I was pondering quotes and I came across ones that I really liked. So whether or not they bring you instant calm, I wanted to share a few. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. Haruki Murakami. That it will never come again is what makes life so sweet. Emily Dickinson. It is not length of life, but depth of life. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Mostly it is loss which teaches us about the worth of things. Arthur Schopenhauer. As soon as you realize it was a gift, you'll be free. Maxime Lagacé. Curious which one resonated the most with you? I liked them all for different reasons. Wanted to pop in this week to share something that I produced for BuzzFeed around loss. It's called Moms Who Have Lost Children Meet Children Who Have Lost Moms. This was the first project that I was able to produce for BuzzFeed's YouTube channel, BuzzFeed Video. I produced it alongside Hallie Steiner, someone who I'm very grateful for being excited about the idea and being willing to go on the journey with me conducting remote interviews. And I'm really happy that it's out in the world, although it was, of course, very heavy to go through that process. It was really rewarding and something that I am proud to have helped put into the world. And I'm very grateful for the participants for sharing their stories around loss. The video features 3 sets of people meeting on Zoom. The first set is Terry, an American mom living in Milan, discussing her daughter's suicide in 2018 at age 27. And she is speaking with Rhett, 23, who lost her mom to suicide last year. Shout out to Terry, who is a family friend and a wonderful person. And it was so wonderful to connect with her while she lives in Italy, so far away, and yet getting to hear more about her story. Terry and Rhett spoke about stigmas surrounding mental health and suicide, honoring the happy memories of your loved one without glossing over the difficult ones, grieving through music, and also finding comfort in signs that your loved one is still with you. The next 2 people who met were Nina and Liz. Nina discusses losing her son to a hit and run by an emergency response vehicle and grieving as a Black woman. She discusses this with Liz, who at age 19 had to become the power of attorney to decide her mother's fate after an unexpected brain aneurysm. They talked about grieving as women of color, talking about unexpected and sudden loss, facing life's milestones like Liz's recent engagement, and continuing to honor your loved one through creative pursuits like cooking, music, and dancing, plus simultaneously coping with grief and fighting legal battles. The next 2 people who met were Melanie and Ben. Melanie discusses losing her son when he was 13 to brain cancer in 2018, with Ben, 25, who lost his mom in high school to metastatic breast cancer. Melanie is also a breast cancer survivor and has 2 other kids, twins, currently 12. We discuss Ben's racist grandfather who disowned him for being half Black. And we discussed Jewish identity, as Melanie's husband is a rabbi and Ben was raised Jewish and taken in by a rabbi when his mother died. Even saying their stories out loud again here is so profound, and each of them was absolutely incredible for opening up with a stranger, with us, and also publicly. That is certainly not easy to do, but it is appreciated for other people who might have experienced similar kinds of losses. I'm very, very grateful again to Terry, to Rhett, to Nina, to Liz, to Melanie, and to Ben. What was tricky was each interview was about 2 hours. So we had about 6 hours worth of footage that we were asked to pare down into about 10 to 15 minutes. And what an experience that was. I really, really am proud of the content we were able to pull from those 6 hours. However, I do really wish more of the stories could have been delved into even further. You know, as someone who does a podcast, I really like to really go there to flesh out more details, as I think it can provide more relatability and comfort for others who have specific kinds of losses. And even if you haven't experienced the exact same kind of loss, sometimes I find it healing to hear the specifics of someone else's story pertaining to loss or not, truly, because it makes you feel less alone about the depth and specificity of the death or trauma you might be processing. I don't know if that's just me. And yet we did have to pare it down because at the end of the day, I don't run BuzzFeed. I work for them. I started working for them in March. So I've been working for them besides the first week remotely the entire time, which has been a fascinating experience to connect with so many people over Zoom. And the Moms Who Have Lost Children Meet Children Who Have Lost Moms video is definitely the project I'm the most proud of so far. Again, I know I said it's the first YouTube project I did for them, but I've been doing projects for other platforms such as TikTok and Facebook. If you'd like to check it out, you can go to BuzzFeed video. You can't miss it. It has, as of today, about 120,000 views and about 543 comments, which is really amazing because I don't know, normally in my personal world and my personal comedy bubble, I spend so many hours making things and then, you know, my friends and family see it and there's a small circle of other people that will see it. But it was like a good reminder that, oh, wow, people actually watch this stuff. You know, sometimes you're just making it and you're behind the scenes and you forget where it's even going and you forget why you're doing it. You just are so in the weeds of the deadlines and the details that you can miss the bigger picture. This was actually supposed to come out for Mother's Day. So we had put it all together in about a week or two. And then for whatever reason, the publisher did not put it out for Mother's Day. And I was initially really, really disappointed because we'd worked so hard in such a short amount of time. However, without ever knowing exactly why certain details unfold the way they do, it did come out. And at the end of the day, it's impactful regardless of the timing. And I just say that in case anyone else has experienced working on some kind of creative or other kind of project, and then it didn't turn out the way you thought it would or when you wanted it to. It can be frustrating initially, but you know, perhaps it's for the best. Perhaps this coming out for Mother's Day could have been received a different way or possibly triggering to people. The idea was to help people who were experiencing Mother's Day for the first time without a mother or without a child. And while I think that's very valuable as well, who knows what would have happened if it came out then. It was adjusted so that we took out some of the Mother's Day conversation out as we were requested to do. And here it is a couple months later, which in the scheme of things is really not that much later at all. So again, if you Google Moms Who Have Lost Children Meet Children Who Have Lost Moms, BuzzFeed video, you can't miss it. It came out on July 18th, and you can check out the title from there. I'd love to share with you the first 45 seconds. This is just me recording it from my phone, but it will be higher audio quality when you go to the YouTube.
How have you coped with feeling cheated?
I lost my child, but you lost your childhood.
Your mother, she's gonna always be with you. I'm pretty sure she's sitting right next to you now.
Brad, I think it's destiny that you and I are talking to each other.
I'm Nina.
Nina, like Nina Simone?
Yeah, my father named me after Nina Simone. He was like one of her biggest fans.
You're named after a true legend.
Oh, awesome. No wonder we're joined together.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I just wanted to share that with you this weekend, and I'll be back next week with an interview. Looking forward to that. And if you have any requests for specific kinds of losses or specific kinds of interviews you would like to hear in the coming months, don't forget, you can always shoot me an email to dyingoflaughterpodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram, dyingoflaughter_podcast. Again, that's dyingoflaughterpodcast@gmail.com or dyingoflaughter_podcast. I really want to feature stories that specifically pertain to the kinds of losses you might have experienced or the kinds of experts that you feel like might be the most helpful. Hopefully some more comedians will come on in the next few months too to make things light in addition to heavy. I always like to strike that balance as much as possible. Anyone who has reached out, it really means the world. I received a couple messages last week that I was really moved by. So thank you. I really do enjoy connecting. It's nice to know who's listening. And I hope you have a good week as much as possible. Bye.